Hey guys, Dan here from Your Guitar Academy and welcome back to this electric blues course. We're on lesson number 22 and this is the final lesson of this unit. And what we're going to be doing is just finalizing this idea that we've been working with of being able to find our scales and our chords and our turnarounds in any key by just working with this major and minor mix. Just basically just reiterating what we've talked about before, but now in real great detail. So by the end of this, you really will be able to play in any key, whether you're playing rhythm, lead, riffs, or whatever it is. So pick up the guitar and let's get started. Hey guys, so if you're just tuning in, then do remember that you can head on over to the website to get all of the interactive tab, the fretboard diagrams, and the full write-ups for every single lesson. It looks great on the mobile, on the desktop, however you're viewing it. Head over there and we'll put the links in the description and in this video. Also, please do like and subscribe to this video if you're enjoying it so far and if you're enjoying the course, as well as leave us a comment. We make sure we get back to every single comment that you guys leave. Okay guys, so if you remember, in the previous unit, we started to mix this major and minor pentatonic. We really worked hard to make sure that we understood why you could do that and also give you some really cool lick ideas to use when you're blending the major and minor, okay? And we touched on the idea of how to then transpose that and move it into various keys, but let's just refine that now, okay? Because I just want to give you some real great examples of why you would do this and then how you would do this. So again, I'm gonna throw keys at you here. So it's really good if you do have the guitar with you to try and do this with me, okay? Because one thing that's really worth noting here is that quite often, most often really, when it comes to blues, because it's just assumed that you know the format of the 12-bar blues, the biggest kind of instruction will be something like this, right? Let's jam on a 12-bar in B flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're off, okay? And they might give you that instruction of the quick change, maybe not, maybe you're just supposed to feel that out, but now at least we know what that is, okay? We know how to find those chords in B flat. We know the structure of the thing. We can even start to do a little bit of blues scale minor pentatonic stuff in B flat because we did that in the previous lesson. But what about that beautiful mix of the major and minor? What if I just threw a vicious key at you like B flat potentially, even though of course that's B.B. King's favorite key, the B flat king. What if I threw that at you? Would that throw you still? So let's talk about that now. Let's get that right, okay? So the basic idea here again is to be able to find the E and the A string root. If you can do that, the rest is going to come easy, okay? So for B flat, okay, there's a B flat, 6th fret. There's one right down here, but that's going to be fairly useless. And there's one up here, okay? So this is, you just need to be able to do that quickly, guys. Can you find those roots? And in fact, do you know what? I'm gonna really throw something out at you here now. I'm gonna call out a couple of notes, okay? And I want you to find them as quickly as you can on the E string and the A string, okay? So that was B flat, okay? Now let's do the G. So find G as quickly as you can. I'll give you a few seconds. G on the E string, G on the A string. G, G, and of course if you wanted to, G. What about F? F on the E string, F on the A string. Potentially F up here as well. E string octave, okay. What about C? Can you find C on the E string and C on the A string? C, C. Okay, the quicker you can do this, the better. So it might be that you get someone that you know to test you with that. Just throw out some C, G, F. Just give them the sheet of all the, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, all the notes, and just get them to kind of throw them at you. Also make sure that they do the flats as well as the sharps, so you get used to, you might hear F sharp quite commonly, but you might not hear A sharp, you'd probably hear B flat. So just get used to all the different possibilities, okay, and find them. Now, for the purpose of this exercise, once you've found them, the next step is to play your dominant 7th chord. Okay, so let's come back to B flat. So B flat there, B flat there. And I want you to play the E shape, dominant chord, however you play that from there. And just as we've been doing with the 12 bar actual chord part, we're going to play the C shape, or this cool new, triad version of the C shape, whichever one, doesn't really matter. Maybe stick with that for the purpose of this particular exercise. So you need to be able to find those two. So that's going to be our next little test, okay? So ready? Find G7 on the E string and the A string. I'll give you a second there to think about that. So it would end up looking like G7, G7. Find C7 on both of those. You might want to do an octave of the C as well. So I'll give you a second to think about that. C, C7, C, C. So C, C7, C, C7, C, C7. We'll do one more. How about the key of F sharp? F sharp 7. Can you find that? Give you a second there. Okay, F sharp. F sharp dominant, F sharp dominant, F sharp dominant. That's probably a bit high. Okay. So that's your second phase of that. So find the root, then find the dominant. Now we bring in the knowledge. Okay, so let's come back to B flat again. Over this chord, we've got minor shape 1, and we learnt this in the previous unit. So if this is foreign to you, you need to go back through unit 3, where we did this in great detail. Shape 1 is our minor, and shape 2 is our major. Okay. So suddenly I can play in B flat with just that. So I've found the B flat, I've found the chords, I've got my minor, and I've got my major. Okay. Next up, I come over here, B flat, and I bring in my knowledge. Again, what we did in the previous unit. So I've got major, shape 4, and minor, shape 3. And now I can play in B flat in 2 positions, all right? How cool is that? And eventually what this is leading to is being able to play, actually physically over the chord as well with the chord change, okay? But that's going to be for later, that's for later levels. So this is level 1 of our electric blues course. We will get that, we will cover that for you. Of course, we've got your back with all of this stuff. But for now, this is laying the groundwork hugely. Plus, for a lot of blues players, you won't ever need any more than this. Okay, if you can play that major-minor crossover over the 12 bar, it's just going to sound amazing already. So there we have it. So that's how we do it. So if I was in a situation where I was laying down a blues, okay, I'm now going to do the whole thing. All right. So I'm just trying to imagine a setting whereby I'm the guitar player, right? And I've got a bass player and a drummer, or I've got a backing track, or whatever it is. I'm first of all going to lay down my 12-bar groove. This might be something you do with a looper, like I'm about to do as well. I highly recommend that. If you don't have a loop already, get one. And then build this up. So I'm going to do a 12-bar shuffle. Okay. Then I'm going to give a little riff using my blues scale. And I'm going to move a riff across the 12-bar. And then I'm going to do some improvisation using my major and minor pentatonic crossover. Okay, so ready? In B flat. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm just importing my pattern that I've learned. I'm even going to do then the 4 chord. And you can bring in or add anything you've learned up to this point as well. Okay. Now, I might choose to just do a little riff over that as well, okay? Something simple, like, although, when you bring in the riff, just to come back to this, if I choose to bring in the riff from a minor, from a blues scale, when I come to solo over it, I probably won't have that access as easily to the major pentatonic, because, I'm really refining the minor notes by playing the minor riff. Okay, so actually, we're going to leave that riff for now. Okay, we can do that separately. I want to just get into that major-minor mix here. Okay, so now I've got my B flat here. I know my major and I know my minor over the top. So let's give this a go, and I'm going to jump between the 2 positions. Okay, up here. Okay, simple as that. I'm improvising in B flat. Yay, so simple. I'm bringing in the licks that I've already learned. I'm playing the major. I'm playing the minor. I can play my blues scale. And so on, okay? So, you can see actually, when you just go through it logically, find your root note, then find the dominant chord, and then apply the knowledge that we've learned, so that's the knowledge that you have been given, blessed with now. You've got it, you're there, and then all you need to do is work on that, as we talked about in the previous unit, work on that, mangling, I'm trying to think of a better word for it, but basically just contorting it, just taking those licks and bringing them into your improvisation, and you can solo over it, okay? So this is the absolute key, and by the end of this unit now, what you're able to do is you can play a blues in any key. That's huge. That's absolutely huge, guys. So pat yourself on the back for that. Fantastic work. You can also play a variety of types of blues. So you can play in different rhythms. You can play some with using little licks. You can play little riffs. You can play turnarounds. You can do quick change or slow change. You've got all these different versions now that you can start blending together. You also know how to play the minor and the blues scale from the root note of E and A. Okay, so quickly being able to work out riffs and stuff like that. And now you can put that mixture of the minor and the major pentatonic in two positions anywhere on the neck, which is going to allow you to solo just some great sounding blues licks. So we got so much going on. So it is definitely worth taking a few days just to pause, just to kind of let that really blend, get into your soul before we tackle our last unit where I'm going to give you a really cool full blues solo utilizing all these ideas. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We do our absolute best to answer every single comment. If you've got questions, here is the place to write them so that we can get back to you and really help you out with this stuff. If you want to carry on with this course and you're loving it, then you can find the next lesson right here, and you can start the whole thing. The whole playlist is here on YouTube as well. So click one of those two links and I'll see you in the next lesson.